Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here. I'm back from TwitchCon and ready to get back to business here on YouTube. Now, I do have another Iron Man video in the works. In fact, I'm going to be working on it in just about 5 to 10 minutes after I record this. But let's start with something simple because while I was at TwitchCon, they announced the next Letter from the Producer Live part 89? I always have to question it, man, with all the X's, L, like it's just a mess of letters. I wish they'd forego the Roman numerals at this point, Final Fantasy reference aside. Letter from the Producer Live part 89 is set for October 31st. So the next Letter from the Producer Live is part 1 of our introduction to the exciting new features that await in patch 7.4. As you can see, it will be starting at 4 a.m. PDT. Thank goodness I'm on the East Coast now. And you can watch it YouTube, Nico, and Twitch. Patch 7.4 part 1 and miscellaneous updates. Now, this is going to be a very interesting live letter for a number of reasons. Number one, patch 7.4 is not that far away. If we were to follow pattern, and this indeed does follow pattern, it would actually be on December 16th. That would be the 19-week mark. Remember, that's where we're at. Since 6.1, it is 19 weeks between patches minus one of the patches, which I believe is 0.2 or 6.2 or 6.3. That was 20 weeks instead. So that would be on pattern, and this currently is conforming to that pattern. So it should be just about, what is it, 5 weeks after this? No, 4 weeks. 4 weeks after this, we should be getting the next live letter, which would be part 2, and that is going to be most likely December 6th or 7th, somewhere in that range. But something more intriguing is the timing, because of the December 16th patch release, that does mean a December 23rd Savage release, if nothing changes, and quite frankly, I don't think it will. Now, this has people a little bit up in arms. Obviously, you have the raiders who don't want it to be that, because believe it or not, some raiders spend time with their families, you know? When the holidays roll around, some of us do spend time with our families. I've already had to make the concession that if that does indeed fall on December 23rd, as we're predicting, then December 25th will be mostly off limits for me, as I will have plans on Christmas Day itself. And then there's some people coping that maybe they'll push it back, but they'd have to push it back like 3 whole weeks, mind you, because it's New Year right after that. And then going into January, it's fine, but I don't think they're willing to do a 3-week patch delay just because Savage falls very close to a holiday. I think they'll treat it very similarly to Chaotic, where they go, listen, yeah, it's coming out on a holiday, but like it'll be there when you get back. Yeah, I like to get a blind experience, so I will probably try to make use of the 23rd and the 24th, and in reality, that's enough to get 75% of the tier done if you're somebody doing hardcore. If you're an actual world first group, you actually probably will have it done before Christmas. So there are some little bits of hope. But 7.4 is important for other reasons. 7.3 has a whole bunch of stuff. 7.2 and 7.3 are full of a whole bunch of ideas and exploring just the way that players are responding to certain things in the game, whether it was the way Fork Tower and the Occult Crescent was done, or the way the recently released Pilgrim's Traverse and Quantum were done. And 7.4 is the next step in that. And as we move closer and closer to 8.0, we want to see changes that make 8.0 more exciting before actually learning about 8.0 this coming April at Fan Festival. So with the final raid in that of the Arcadian, with the first bit of kind of leading into the 8.0 story, and with Variant and Criterion returning in 7.4, there's a lot on the line with this patch. And there's been a lot on the line, it feels like, with every patch. But now that we've seen some of the good and some of the bad, we've given some feedback and seen a lot of kind of reaction from the dev team as to like what we have to say. 7.4 is really kind of like the big thing. We also expect the raid finder, not the raid finder, the in-game raid tool that actually works like raid plan to be in this patch. People are still waiting on that internal housing thing where you can like take a small house and give it a large interior, because that was supposed to be. There's so many features that have just not been in 0.1, not been in 0.2, not been in 0.3 that we've been waiting for that should be here on top of major updates to features that we've been expecting in the whole expansion. 7.4 kind of needs to go all out. It needs to be a great finale to the raid tier. It needs to include all these long-awaited features, and it kind of just needs to knock it out the park. It could be the death of Variant Criterion. It could be a very unexciting lead into an 8.0 expansion. There's a lot of people who don't know if 7.4 is going to excite them or not. And there are pieces of me that are like that too. So I'm very curious to see what patch 7.4 will bring. I'll be doing my usual coverage of this on Halloween Day. Maybe I'll do it in costume. I don't know, but not making any promises on that front. But that's what we've got going on. I am going to do a video going over expected features for patch 7.4 as well, so people know kind of what to expect at the bare minimum going into this December 16th, to be determined patch. So let me know what you think in the comment section of the video below, but be sure to like and subscribe and stay tuned for the part 2 video of the Iron Man series. Hoping to have that out by the end of week, but we'll have to see because, it's a lot that goes into each of those videos. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care.